Hello and good evening once again. Am I audible? Can you kindly confirm? Okay. All right. So is my screen visible to all of you? All right, fine. So in the last class, we talked about Unit 3, Part A and Part B. So how many of you have revised those chapters? Let me see. Okay, what is CSIR? I am a beginner. Dinekha. Well, CSIR is your gateway to your research programs. See, if you want to do PhD, then obviously you need to qualify one of the entrance exams, the All India entrance exams that you have. It can be your CSIR, it can be your DBT, it can be your GATE, okay, it can be your ICMR, but you have to clear one of the entrance exams. Now, these exams, apart from GATE, ICMR, DBT, CSIR, they give you fellowships as well. So obviously, to do your PhD, you need some fellowships. So if you clear these entrance exams, you will not only be able to register for your PhDs, but also get the fellowships from the respective institutions. Okay, even for your college, if you want to apply for college, like your assistant professor, if you want to apply for CSIR, qualification is necessary. Okay, now in CSIR you have two kinds of qualification. One is CSIR JRF, one is your LS for the lectureship, JRF is for the scholarship. Okay, now those who are becoming CSIR JRF, who are qualifying for CSIR JRF, they are automatically getting qualified for your lectureship also. But those who are qualifying for CSIR LS, they are qualified for lectureship, but they do not get the scholarship, okay, or the stipend. I shouldn't say scholarship, but actually the correct word will be the stipend, okay, the research amount that you get. Understood? Okay, so I haven't received answers, like those who were present with me in the last two sessions. I hope you have gone through those chapters as well, the question answers of which we had discussed, right? Because in the question answer discussion, I pointed out that these were important, and from where the questions are coming, the topics, how to plan. Okay, so yeah, yes. Tusi is saying yes. Sunshine is saying yes. Rahul is saying yes. Good, good. So today we will take up questions from another topic, another unit, which is your unit 11. And unit 11 is talking about evolution, right? So in that unit 11, you have five different subparts: A, B, C, D, and E and F. So six different subparts you have, of which we will take up we will take up the subparts E and F. E is dealing with your population genetics, speciation, whereas your F is dealing with brain behavior and learning. All right. So These two topics, they are very very important from your unit 11. And the other topics that you have in unit 11, yes, those are also important, but those are a bit easy also. Okay. So I will say, do not miss out on these topics at all. Unit 11, read it completely, study it completely. All right. So are we all ready to start with our discussion? Shall we begin with our discussion? All right. So the first question that I have for you is from part B. So we will start with the easy one. Okay. Now, this is a question which is a 2 marks question, and this is a topic from your brain behavior and learning. Okay. All right. So they are talking about the Asian quail, which is a brood parasite. We know about quail, right? So it's kakku. So this is a brood parasite. Which one of the following statement is true for this species? Yes, Rahul, we will do it. Okay, we will do it. So the first option is the brood of the bird is usually infested with parasitic wasp. The young ones learn the calls of their foster parents. The bird feeds parasitic wasp to its brood. The call of the species is innate and not learned. Okay. So in this case, many of you, I guess, you haven't studied Unit 11 yet. Some of you are all well acquainted with Unit 11. Some of you haven't started yet. Not to worry. Let me give you some idea out of this part. You see, this is talking about the learning modes. Okay, and there has been some experiments to see whether learning is a type of innate behavior or is it a type of learned behavior. Innate and learned behavior are different. Innate is something that is coded within our genes and it comes automatically, whereas learned behavior is something that we learn in our lifetime. Okay. So in that experiment it has been seen that mainly these the song of the birds, the displaying their behavior of displaying their feathers. Okay. Or learning the song, these are all part of their innate behavior. Okay. Which comes from uh, which is already there. Okay, which is already coded in their genes. Okay. So the correct answer for this is option 4. So quail, as we know, it exhibit the brood parasitic behavior. What does this brood parasitic behavior means? You must know this, that quails, they don't build their own nest, right? But they rather lay their eggs in another bird's nest. Mostly it is the mynas or the crow. Okay. And it is the female crow or the female myna who is rearing the uh, offspring of this quail, okay, along with their own offsprings. So here the question comes is like when they are being reared by another species, whether the bird, whether this baby quail bird, okay, whether it is learning to sing the song of crows or manas, because crows and manas, they have their own sound, isn't it, what we call as song, okay, they have their own sound. So whether they are going to learn the song or the sound of the crow or the manas, but the thing is that they don't learn it. Have you ever heard a quail crowing? No, right? Or making sound like that of the manas? No, right? The quail, they sing. Okay, why it happens is, even though they are bred by the foster parents, they have their own innate capacity to understand which is their own song, like song of their own species, and which is not the song of their own species. So they, uh, their innate code, okay, the genetic code that is there, it is there to help them distinguish between their own species and the song of another species. Okay, so the correct answer here is option 4. I hope you have got some idea. Okay, next, which one of the following is correct regarding Zidziber? Number 1, they have no effect on biological rhythms, sense biological rhythms, synchronize biological rhythms, abolish biological rhythms. Okay, here, like again, let me give you some clues. Okay, biological rhythm is, there are different kinds of biological rhythms which are synchronized with our environment. Okay, one of the very commonest biological rhythm that I can tell you right now is the circadian rhythm. Okay, which happens with day and night. Like for example, the opening and the closing of flowers. Have you ever seen this? The flowers open in the morning, right, and it closes in the evening. Again, the next day it will open in the morning and close in the evening. Okay, the sleep and awake movement, what we call as, that is a kind, that is circadian rhythm. Okay, and it is one of the type of the biological rhythms, and these rhythms, they are all connected to the environmental cue. Only when the flower will sense the environmental cue as like being suitable for blooming, then it will bloom. Okay, so they have their own clock set within themselves. Their own clock is ticking and giving them the time sense. Flowers, birds, and all, they don't have the clock that we have, right? But they have this biological clock inside. Even actually we have, humans also have, the animals also have this biological clock within us. Okay, which is synchronized with the environment, and it follows a rhythmic pattern, a fixed pattern. Okay, that is what is known as a biological rhythm. Yes, Rojano, I know it is not, but it will be. Okay. So now, when I've given you this idea, what is Ziziberg? Ziziberg is an environmental cue. Okay, it is an environmental or social cue that provide input to these circadian rhythms. Okay, so now can you tell me what should be the answer? So this is again a question connected to your brain behavior and learning. You will study in details. You have to study these biological rhythms in details. Yes, the correct option is option 3. Okay, synchronize the biological rhythms. See, so you just have to understand the biological rhythms. What are these biological rhythms? How they are synchronized? Okay, what is the pattern? What is the rhythm that is being followed? Simple thing. All right. Now, this is a Parsi question. So, behavioral and cognitive responses in organisms are finely tuned to environmental cues. Given below is a list of specific hormone or chemical signals and the biological functions. So, what you have to do is you just have to match the correct hormone with the correct biological function. Now, of this, you must be knowing some hormones. The functionality of some hormones you have already studied in your lower classes. Like adrenaline, I can tell you. Adrenaline, everyone knows what adrenaline does, right? So try it out in that way. There are three options, and you will get your correct answer from these three options. Okay, very good. So the correct answer is option 2. Very good. Okay, so we have cortisol. Cortisol is involved in stress response, right? Cortisol is involved in stress response. Adrenaline is definitely flight or fright. Okay, now melatonin is something which is connected to your sleep wake cycle. All right, so right now I told you an example. I told you the circadian rhythm. So this circadian rhythm, this is connected to your sleep wake cycle, right? And you have this melatonin hormone inside us, which actually gets produced or suppressed in connection with the environmental cue, okay, which is the light actually. Okay, and dopamine, it is a movement and coordination. So the correct answer is option 2. Very good, all of you. All right, now moving to the next question. So many species of birds call at dawn in temperate regions. The phenomena is referred to as dawn chorus. Several explanations have been proposed for this. Which one of the options is not a correct explanation for the occurrence of dawn chorus? Everyone knows what is dawn and dusk. Okay. Now for this one, you try. This is something which you will be able to give answer using your a bit of knowledge and bit of common sense. You don't have to completely rely on your knowledge. A bit of knowledge, a bit of common sense is sufficient enough for you to give the answer. So come on, everyone try. Please make sure they are saying it's not. Okay, not correct. So the first option is transmission of sound is better at dawn due to colder temperature at that time. Singing at dawn is costly as the birds are low on energy. This makes singing at dawn a handicap and thereby indicates honest signaling. Dawn chorus allows birds to utilize a time window for singing which does not interfere with their feeding time. The syrinx muscles are unable to move freely after early morning, resulting in poorer control over song production at later times of the day. Okay, so I'm getting an option between 4 and 2. The confusion is between 4 and 2. So everyone agrees that transmission of sound is better at dawn due to colder temperature at that time. Simple physics, right? Isn't it? Sound transmission is good in colder temperatures, right? So lower morning air temperatures and less active air currents that permits the birds' song to travel a long distance without any kind of interference or some kind of losses. Okay, so that's why statement 1 is correct. Now what about statement 2? Singing at dawn is costly as the birds are low on energy. This makes singing at dawn a handicap, thereby indicates honest signaling. Confusing, isn't it? Okay, some of you are saying option 1 is not correct. Option 1 is correct. Okay? See, actually, this is something connected to your, advertising fitness. There are this fitness uh, measures which are there for your natural selection to select a particular behavior. Okay, how fit it is. A particular behavior, if it is fit for that species, then this behavior will be selected by natural selection. Okay, so basically, it takes a great energy to sing so loudly, okay, and powerfully, to show off your vocal powerness in the early morning. Okay, so when that happens, when you are actually singing in the morning, despite of the fact that are you need a lot of energy to sing in the morning, it shows that you are fit. How? Because it shows that you are strong enough to overcome that hindrance. Sorry. Got it? Like, for example, why am I saying it is a handicap? Because it is requiring a lot of energy to sing in the morning. Okay? Yet the birds are singing in the morning. Now, those birds who are able to sing in the morning, okay, or those individuals rather who are able to sing in the morning, that means what? They have that fitness, okay, they are strong enough to sing in the morning. They are having that high amount of energy to sing in the morning. So that means they are fit. They are more fit than the others. So this actually tells natural selection to select for this particular individual who is more fit. Understood? Because it demonstrates that the singer is strong and healthy enough to survive a night of all that dipping temperatures and then no feeding. Okay, so this is correct. Now, talking about the third statement, dawn chorus allows birds to utilize a time window for singing which does not interfere with their feeding time. This is correct. Why? because at dawn the light is not sufficient enough for the birds to go for foraging. Okay, that is to go for hunting or finding food. So in that case, it is utilizing that time to sing. Okay, singing means attracting the opposites, the opposite gender. Now, the fourth is wrong. So the incorrect one is option 4. It is not like the siren muscle are unable to move freely after early morning. No, it is not that case. Okay, this is the wrong statement. I hope this is clear to everyone. Right? Okay, let me give you one more idea regarding this handicap hypothesis. Okay, and how it is related to fitness. For those who are still having some doubt, it will be clear to you. Another example of this handicap hypothesis is related to the peacocks. Okay, see, peacocks, they have very long tails, right? And the peahens, sorry, please excuse my throat today. So the peahens, they actually look for the number of eyes which are there on the tail of this peacock. Okay, the more number of eyes, that means the male will be able to attract the female better than the others. Fine. Now if you want to have more number of eyes, that means what, you need to have longer tails. Now just imagine the peacock having that big tail itself is a handicap for the peacock, isn't it? It is quite heavy. That tail mass is quite heavy. Now if you develop longer tails, then that will become more difficult for the peacock to move. Yet what is happening, you're developing longer tails, which is why you are getting more number of eyes, which is why you are getting more number of mates to increase your fitness. Okay, so automatically natural selection prefers this particular trait of longer tails, more number of eyes, over shorter tails and less number of eyes, even though it is a handicap. Okay, so this is a controversial theory, but yes, this is there in nature. Natural selection is preferring those handicap characteristics because ultimately that is helping to increase the fitness of the organism of or the fitness of that particular individual. Okay, so the same thing applies here as well. There are many other handicap theories which are there, many other examples rather, okay, which when you will study in details you will come across. All right, moving to option question number 5. So question number 5, they are saying males of a species of grasshopper produce loud calls to attract females. Most energy of these calls lie in the species specific frequency, while other frequencies have much less energy. This is depicted in a power spectrum, plots with solid line in the figures. Females find males by listening to and recognizing the species specific call, and they are most sensitive to the species specific frequency. This is depicted using hearing threshold curves, plots in dashed lines in the figures below. This allows the females to find even the softest calling males of their own species and ignore even the loud callers of other species, resulting in reproductive isolation. Which one of the following figures represent the correct option for the hearing threshold of females given the power spectrum, the solid lines of the male calls of this grasshopper species? So for this question, you just need to analyze the graph, nothing else. Everything has been told in the paragraph itself. You just have to take out the information from the paragraph and analyze the graph to come to the conclusion. You don't need any background knowledge for this, because whatever knowledge, whatever information is required, it is there in this paragraph, given in this paragraph. So try it out yourself. Okay, take time, try it, and then I will explain. Let's see. Read the paragraph very carefully. This is again a question from your brain behavior and learning. But for this question, again, I'm repeatedly telling you, you don't need any background knowledge. You just need to find out the information which is already given in this paragraph and analyze the graph accordingly. Okay, Surender, Sunshine, you have given me a answer. Can you tell me why you're giving me this answer? Is it just random, or you have any logic behind it? Let's see. Let me see what you're thinking. Okay, I'm getting mixed answers. This is very logical. Okay, you have to use your logic. Right, right, good. Right, so Suzanne. Others, what logic you're applying? Okay, so let's see what is the correct answer for this. The answer is option one. Yes, absolutely. Correct, Surender. Absolutely. Good. See, so those who are giving me option one, you have found out the information which is given here. See, it is very clearly mentioned in this case that the females are most sensitive to the species specific frequency calls of the males of the same species, right? So, since the females are most sensitive, they are most sensitive at that region, means that threshold of the sound pressure levels should be minimum, right? That is the region in the graph where the male power spectrum is showing the peak. The females hearing threshold curve should be minimum because they are sensitive to different specificities here. Okay, so in that case only graph 1 satisfies this logic. Okay, when the male is having the highest frequency, the female sensitivity is the least. I hope you is clear to everyone. So see, these kinds of questions, no, you should attempt, because this doesn't need any prior knowledge. Only the logic you have to understand from this huge paragraph. There is only one thing that is mentioned, and you just have to figure out what is that one thing that is mentioned. Okay, to analyze the graphs. Okay. So how was this question? How did you find it? Very difficult? For other questions, okay, background knowledge was required. But for this one, what do you think? So practice these kinds of questions. Yeah, this is absolutely logical, okay? So CSIR, if you see the pattern of CSIR not only asks you from the topics that you have studied, it doesn't only checks the knowledge of your analysis of the topics that you have studied, but also checks on what kind of logical thinking you can do from the information given to you, what kind of conclusions you can, logical conclusions you can come to. Okay, so there is a data based question, there is like the questions which are based from the book's information, whatever you're studying from the book. There are questions which are analytical, which is based on the information you have studied from the book and the application of that knowledge. Okay, and there are these logical questions. So when you're preparing for your CSIR, keep these things in mind. All right. And Watson Impact Scholarship, by this time, many of you have already heard about it. So we are here to give you a whole lot of programs, help you in not only preparing for these competitive exams, help you not only, go about these analytical questions, the logical questions, okay, the subject-based questions, but many other. And also we are here to help you out with all the current research activities, plus you definitely get a chance to go for hands-on project works as well. So the deadline is 31st of July. Don't think much. Okay, so if you want us to help you out, then do come and join us. We are here waiting for you. Okay. So next, question number 6. This is again a very straightforward question. Very straightforward question right from the subject. So I told you, there are different kinds of these um, questions which are asked in CSIR. Yeah, see, Suzanne, you didn't know about the topic, but yes, you came to the right answer. Yeah. Okay, Manisha, congratulations. You got the 93% Watson scholarship. Absolutely, Manisha. You're definitely, if you're serious about your CSIR net and if you really want to take this path of your career, then you should grab the scholarship. Whatever you are getting, there's a whole lot of things in the basket, right? Which are going to help you, in grooming, in understanding what is there in lying ahead of you, how you should prepare. Okay, and these knowledges will also help you to face the interviews. See, just getting the CSIR, just getting the JRF is not important, like it's not sufficient. You have to look for the labs, you have to face the interviews over there, you have to like show your knowledge and how you will be able to apply that knowledge in that project. That is a very crucial thing. You have to convince the guide that yes, you are capable of being enrolled in that project. You're capable of handling that project because you have this kind of knowledge, and you can apply it to get to some kind of conclusions. Okay, that is something you have to convince the guide. Otherwise, why will the guide take you? There are many of others who are waiting in the queue. Okay, So qualifying JRF is one hurdle, and then getting into the lab is another hurdle. So if you have some extra knowledge, you have some extra inputs, what you can give, that you know helps you to overcome this race, or that helps you to stand out of the crowd. Okay. All right. So I'm getting answers for this question number 6 as well. So the correct answer for this is option 1. Very good. Rahul, Anusha, Sunshine. So see, again, this is something which you already know, and if you are able to match two or three, you will be able to find out the others. Okay. So what they have given, first analyze what they have given. In column X, they have given you the theory name, okay, what the scientists have proposed, the ideas of the scientist, and the name of the scientist. Okay. And in Y column, they have given you the description of these ideas, right? So if you see the modern synthesis, actually, you see this modern synthesis, this is an amalgamation of the ideas of Mendelian genetics, population genetics, and theory of natural selection. Okay. So definitely this will come with option 3, synthesis between Mendelian genetics, population genetics, and natural selection. That is your model synthesis. Okay, we right now in these current days we don't just base on one theory, but rather the advanced theories which has come up, the advancement in Mendelian genetics, population genetics. We clump it together to come to the modern synthesis. Phyletic gradualism, which is given by Charles Darwin. Okay, Charles Darwin phyletic gradualism has to be connected with new species arise by gradual transformation of ancestral species. So phyletic gradualism, if you just can analyze this word, okay, phyletic is coming from the word phylogeny. Okay, that means an ancestor to the descendants. And how it is coming in a very gradual way, stepwise. Okay, slowly. So this is a new species arise by gradual transformation of ancestral species. Punctuated equilibrium, given by your Stephen J. Gord and Niels Heldridge. Okay, punctuated equilibrium is talking about that this arising of the new individuals. Okay, the new species has come in a uh, in a punctuated manner. Okay, evolution happens in short bursts. All right, and there will be long period of stasis, that is a period where there will be no change, and again suddenly there will be a period of very fast mutations. Okay, so C is connected with 2. Evolutionary change appears instantaneously between geological sedimentary layers. And the last one, coalescent model, that is connected to option 1. Okay, so very good everyone, those who gave me the answer. With this, we'll move to the next question. Okay, so now we have come to a concept from your population genetics. And this is a concept which is connected with your self fertilization. What happens to the genotypic frequency of a population when it is undergoing self fertilization? In the in our population, it is always better to have heterozygous individuals more than the homozygous individuals. Okay, the reason behind is that it is having two different alleles, right? So a heterozygous, when you cross it with a heterozygous, you get three different genotypes. Okay, so if there is any kind of a change in the environment, okay, and if suddenly one genotype becomes susceptible to that environment, there are other people in the population having a different genotype which can overcome that problem, and they can survive. So in that way, what happens is the entire population is not wiped out. Okay, but if you have a population which is just made up of the homozygous people, that means only one kind of genotype is produced, right? So any change in that environment will affect the population in a greater way manner. So a bit of calculation is required here. What I can tell you is that with every generation, okay, with every generation, there is a 50% decrease in your heterozygosity if there is self fertilization. And why is it that? Because when you cross heterozygous, you get one fourth homozygous, you get half heterozygous, and you get one fourth homozygous recessive. Okay, so with every round of selfing, what happens is there's a reduction of your heterozygosity by 50%. Now, can you calculate and see? So, in this case, if I consider that in the G0 phase, in the generation 0 phase, the heterozygote is 1. Okay. Then, after 3 generations, the frequency of this heterozygous, okay, this one will be half to the power of 3, which is equals to 1 by 8. All right. And the frequency of your homozygote dominant is equals to the frequency of your homozygote recessive. All right, and this one will be 1 minus 1 by 8 by 2. Okay, that is will be 7 by 16. So exactly, Suzanne, Sunshine, Anchal. Okay, Sunshine, Surrender. Yes, you are absolutely right. The correct answer of this is option 2. Okay, this is the correct answer. Very good. Okay, so a bit of calculation is required to get to the answer of these kinds of questions. Okay, in fact, population genetics is a chapter which is, full of calculations. A lot of calculations are there in population genetics. All right, moving on to question number 8. So, in many sexually reproducing organisms, females make mate choice decisions based on male display traits. Several models have been proposed to explain the evolution of exaggeration in male trait. Two of them have been given below in column P and their possible description in column Q. See, always in nature we have this behavior of mate choice. Okay, and in fact uh, the gender which gives more to their offspring, all right, that gender gets a chance to make the mate choice. Like in most of the cases, it is the female who is giving more time, more parental care to her offsprings, right? She is giving more energy in taking care of this offspring, in reproducing these offsprings. So most of them, it is the females who get the chance of selecting their own mates. But in those organisms like the seahorses and all, where the male take cares of their offspring, over there the male gets the chance to select the females. So this mate choice decision is there in the animal kingdom among all the sexually reproducing organisms. And what happens as a result of this is, see, everyone wants to increase their fitness, okay? And the fitness in terms of natural selection is what? The number of offsprings you are able to produce, right? So the males, if I consider that the females are taking the decision, then the males obviously will want to get noticed by the female so that he can increase his fitness in the eyes of natural selection. Otherwise natural selection will wipe him off. Okay, so what happens is the male, it undergoes evolution in the traits which helps to attract the females. Okay, so this is a concept which is explained by these two theories, runaway selection theory and the chase away selection theory. You can do the calculation, Ashu. You can do the calculation and see. Okay, so any idea about this one? What should be the answer? What is a runaway selection and what is the chase away selection? Okay, many of you are saying it's option 3. The correct answer is option 3. Very good. Very good. It is option 3. Okay, so runaway selection, this is a mechanism whereby a secondary sexual trait which is expressed in one sex, it becomes genetically correlated with the preference for the trait in the other gender. Okay, so the genetic coupling of the trait and the preference obviously leads to self reinforcement loops of co-evolution between the trait and the preference for the trait. Okay, so if you are arising with a trait and if you see that that is getting preferred, then you keep that trait. Okay, the more preference you get for the trait, the more evolve the trait will become more evolved. Okay, so that's, there is a positive correlation between these two. So that is why this is known as your runaway selection. Okay, so if you read the options here in the column, you will see in option 3 they are saying the female choice for male trait results in a positive feedback loop favoring both males with such trait and the females that prefer them. So this is your runaway selection. On the other hand, in the case of chaseaway selection, it is just the opposite. Okay, it is a negative coevolution. Here also a coevolution is happening, but that is a negative coevolution. Why? Because in this case they are saying that the pre-existing sensory bias of the females, it initially selects all the males that will display the initial enhancement of the trait. But these overly attractive males, they will cause the females to mate in a very suboptimal manner. Okay, so what will happen is the females will start developing resistance or start developing less attraction for these preferred traits. Okay, so instead of preferring for these enhanced male trait, they will start uh, disliking it. Okay, they will fall less to attracted towards these male traits. So that causes the males to now evolve a more extreme display of the trait in order to again get the attention of the female. Okay, so again the attention the females will initially give the attention, but again it will like start avoiding it. So that will again trigger the males to evolve even more. So it is an antagonistic, it is a negative kind of a relationship, but still it is preferring both of them. So the males exploit pre-existing sensory bias in the females. Females do not benefit by choosing such males, driven the evolution of females that discriminate against such males. Okay, understood everyone? So this is about your co-evolution and two theories which are related to this co-evolution. There are many other theories related to co-evolution. Okay, this is one is your positive co-evolution and the one is your antagonistic co-evolution. Okay, now coming to question number 9. This is very simple. This is again a question from your brain behavior and particularly from your kin selection. So this skin selection, it is mainly a kind of behavior which is seen among the organisms which live in a group. And you will see that those who live in a group, there is one individual who, when will sense any kind of danger, he will give out some alarm calls, okay, to warn the other members of that group. So in that way, what he is doing is he is the one who is coming under the notice of the predator. Okay, so he will be attacked first, but still what he is actually reducing his fitness in that way, but he is protecting the other members of his tribe. So what is the point here? Normally, what did I say? That natural selection prefers individuals who increase their fitness, isn't it? But in this case, what is happening? The opposite is happening. So you're reducing the fitness, but it has been seen, you can prove it by calculation also, that even though this individual is reducing in another way, if you calculate, you will see that he is actually gaining the fitness. Okay, so when you study in details about kin selection, altruism, and all, you will learn that calculation. You will see how it is happening. So right now, the correct answer for this one is option 3. So very good. Option 3. Okay. The correct answer is the gene for altruism will spread in the population if the act of altruism increases the actor's gene in the next gene pool through direct or indirect fitness. All right. So direct fitness is when you are producing your own offspring, you're passing the genes to your own offspring. Okay, that is a direct fitness. Indirect fitness is you are passing your genes through your siblings' offspring or through your relatives' offspring. Because see, if they are your relatives or if they are your cousins or if they are your siblings, you are sharing some proportion of your genes with them as well. So when they reproduce, your genes are also getting passed on to the next generation. So this is the entire concept that is, you know, that is actually dealt with under altruism and the skin selection. Okay, that your genes, it is getting passed. Maybe you're not the one who is passing it directly. Okay, but you are passing your genes through others who are genetically linked to you. Fine. Okay, so coming to the last question of today's session. This is a question from your population genetics, and this is a very straightforward question from the assumptions of Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. So all you have to know is you have to know the assumptions made by Hardy-Weinberg in order to prove its equation correct. Okay, so Hardy-Weinberg said what? Basically, Hardy-Weinberg analysis we do to check if the population is an evolving population or not. Okay. So what will be the correct answer for this? The correct answer is option 2. Okay, because see they are saying contains which of the following options contains all incorrect characteristics of the population Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. So first and foremost, they are saying the size of the population is very large, which is absolutely true. This is an assumption made by Hardy-Weinberg that the size of the population has to be large. Okay. Second assumption made by the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium is that the individuals are randomly mating. Individuals are under natural selection. No, it is not under any kind of selective force. Okay, Hardy-Weinberg says that individuals are not under any kind of selection force. That is an assumption it makes. So that is why statement C is wrong. Statement D is saying that new alleles are added to the population through migration and dispersal. Again, this is wrong because Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium says that the populations are not subjected to any kind of change, either by migration or dispersal or genetic drift, no change. Okay? No new alleles are added or removed. So that is why this statement is wrong. And statement E is saying mutation rates are high. Well, here again, Hardy-Weinberg says that there will be no mutation. Only under that condition, the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium will be held true. Okay, so that is why statement E is also incorrect. Fine. So, for those who have gone through this chapter, who have already studied this chapter, how did you find it? What do you think? I hope after this you can make an analysis of yourself whether you need to revise this chapter or not, isn't it? And for others who are yet to study this chapter, at least you've got the idea of the type of questions you can get. Okay, so next time when we study about this chapter in our class, you will be able to relate to these topics, these chapters. Okay, so how did you find this session today? Yes, exactly. Sunshine. Okay. So I hope this was beneficial for you, like the other discussions. I will come up with some more questions on these topics. Okay, in the next session we have. Till then, take care, study well, and don't panic. Okay, and take good health care of your health. Bye bye.